You ready?
There is a connection between the paranormal, UFOs, and the myths of ancient history. The clues are scattered across the landscape from a forbidden past, maybe even in your own backyard. There is a connection between the true nature of our reality, consciousness, and the unexplained. I'm Carl the Crusher. Let's explore the unknown. Here's our team standing at Mount Wilson Ranch in front of the motel, the same motel where Bob Bigelow took the NIDS team and had his paranormal encounter with the ghost shaman in Motel Room 1. Here you have Hal Putoff, Jacques Vallée, Colm Kelleher, and Bob Bigelow and the rest of the team standing in the same spot. With President Ronald Reagan. Reagan was announcing his Star Wars program, which included everything from MK Ultra to the MX missile program. Mount Wilson Ranch was a potential location for the MX missile site until archaeologists ran into a load of indigenous artifacts and multiple encounters with skinwalkers, the shaman, and even extraterrestrial encounters that began on the ranch. Here's Bigelow in front of the fireplace in the ranch, the same fireplace rumored to be designed by Howard Hughes himself, the same location we are researching today.
Which is exactly in Shaman. So between 7 and 8 hertz is the prime spot for remote viewing, positive altered states of consciousness, clairvoyance, clairaudience, you name it, and out-of-body experience.
With your device right now on top of something that's transmitting a signal?
Possibly. It's as loud in infrasound as if we were sitting at a concert right now. Holy balls.
Look at that!
Okay, you getting this?
Yes,
okay,
dude.
Jumping balls. TikTok. This is not normal.
Right here, dude. Yeah, dude. I think you've got a void underneath with something under there.
So he's putting on the EEG device that'll read. It's basically capturing information.
Chris is lit up in Theta like a Christmas tree right now.
Cool. We'll see if anything makes contact. And what's cool is we're going to be doing it on the EEG machine, and Lato's going to be filming it. So we'll see what the results are of my brainwaves.
Yeah, it's on the right side. That's right.
That's psychic ability right there.
And he put his hand on my shoulder like this, and we put our foreheads together. And we are here on our final day at Mount Wilson Ranch, and we're in the infamous shaman room on the bed where Bigelow was sleeping, and claims that the shaman woke him up standing next to his bed at night. So we're going to do infrasound tests with Brent Stone of Museum of Tarot and Tarotscapes. And we're using the Infotech. This is the make and model infrasound monitor that we're going to be using to see if there's theta waves and Schumann resonance at an amplified level here, specifically in this room.
Feel it like pressure on my temples.
It feels like you're in a barometric tank, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
When I sleep in this room, I feel like I'm falling through the bottom of the bed and then waking up like I'm gonna fall out of the back of a chair.
So, yeah. It's interesting.
Come look, Dwana. This is the room Dwana's sleeping in right now.
Let's take a look at what the average is.
Look at down here.
Same 7.4, but very loud.
Very loud.
A lot of activity between 6.5 and 9. And yeah, you got some, 5 hertz. This looks like 7.1, and You got your 15, your 21, your octaves as well.
The same 3 for the Schumann, huh? It doesn't look as strong though, like as amplified.
No, it's actually very loud here at around 5. About 5.
What if we try this? So Duana wants to do a meditation. Let's do one more quiet reading, and she'll sit on the bed, and she says she wants to try and call him in and see what happens.
I'd be very
Did you see
interested.
Carol's
Her video.
your video of us?
She just got another stick figure of us while we were just taking pictures in the saloon.
Did she?
It's
So
like
the same?
this whole place is weird.
You got the same that I saw?
The same thing, yeah,
Yeah.
on the top of the bar there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go quiet. I'm gonna go sit. Carly, you wanna sit? Just let this happen.
I'll sit in the corner. Actually, I'm going to stand here so I can get the data
I'll go
on
to
camera.
the toilet or something.
We're good.
I'll mark where we're starting.
Yeah, you bet.
This is the period during the meditation. Let's take a look at the average here.
Okay.
Coherent.
So
Oh.
look at that.
When did Wild Horse come in? Because it was
Wow.
only about 5 minutes ago.
Okay, so our consciousness. My thought is that our consciousness
Is affecting
it
us.
affects
So I
us.
heard
It
Wild
informs
Horse
it.
was here.
Right.
I said, I'll steal it.
So we're projecting,
this.
it's picking up our consciousness maybe in the theta waves as we're doing this.
Look at the activity and look at the peak. Starts here, right here. I'm sorry. And all the way up. So the amplitude is massive for 7.47.
Yeah.
One at 10.1, so 10 hertz, which 14.4, and 20, 22 and 23.
So right in the Schumann
Yep.
range for, so that's the wavelength for psychoactive and psychic abilities and
It's funny.
telepathy and remote viewing and
These
all of those things.
the activity is it's extremely intense here at the median is or mean is 7.46 right here. Ton of activity.
Right in the psychoactive range.
And if I
Yeah.
show you other snippets, when I noticed the same thing when you were meditating in the cave yesterday, a lot more activity within this range. It's like it focused it in, tuned it in, and amplified.
And it's actually detecting my brainwaves.
It
like
is.
somehow through the infrasound.
So
this would mean that our thoughts actually affect are non-local and affect reality around us, even though we don't see it.
nail on the head.
So when we think things in the infrasound level, we're really actually projecting something, some sort of a Schumann resonance outside of ourselves that interfaces with our environment.
The point of the Shaman being intertwined with the Shaman, with your consciousness, hitting that mental access window, is that you get in resonance with the Earth's consciousness itself.
And then
And
you're
that's
tapping into information from the beyond.
Correct, and you're probably amplifying it locally. And I noticed this even in traces from the wheel and from the field. Totally different, looks totally different than what we did here and what you did in the cave. There's a lot more, like I said, it's more focused and more.
Well, see, now we need to go hours away to the Magic Mesa and do the medicine wheel there and see if it's the same thing. And then we'll start to make the connection of maybe what these indigenous people were up to. Now we are getting a reading of the infrasound in the back of the truck, but we're at the site of one of the sightings of the Shaman. Chris Bartel is up there on the ridge. Down there is where the windmill is, and look at this. We have a suspicious Penske moving vehicle that just followed us up to the ranch, turned around, and was coming back. So maybe we just got zapped with infrasound directed energy. I don't know. That is weird. They just drove clear up that road and back when they saw us. But anyway, we won't jump to conclusions. We're going to get an infrasound test here away from the ranch a little bit to see if we can get the same reading, or if the theta wave Schumann resonance is just up at the meadow in that area. So we're trying to get a sample out here.
An insignificant amount of theta.
So not nearly as much theta?
No.
No?
No, it's 1 into 25 hertz range here. A little bit here in the 18, so 18 to 25, we'll say. But not
So we're not getting
really.
the same 7/14/21, like we were having down actually at the ranch itself. But
I mean,
so out
it
here
won't be
away
here.
from the ranch is totally different.
Yeah, you'd see a big spike here, and you'd see a big spike here. It's just not there. It's certainly nothing like what we saw up at the cabin, the shaman cabin.
Right.
Yeah.
So you think the first sighting where the archaeologist was up at the cabin above the upper pond there is the strongest, most amplified we've seen it so far?
Probably the strongest, most amplified we've seen outside of the cave. Yep, definitely.
Oh, the cave was the strongest.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Gotcha.
they're comparable, but that was anomalous for being out in the open environment.
What about the circles, would you say, now after seeing everything?
The circles actually were a bit different. They were tuned more towards, like I said, 80 hertz was the predominant.
Like near-death experience
Yeah,
type
yeah.
phenomena like that. Yeah, the 80.
It's present in the entire ranch area that we went to, but definitely the shaman cabin when we were standing outside was the most theta activity.
Really?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, next stop, Rachel, Nevada, and then Magic Mesa and elsewhere. We have a lot still to do and a lot of road to travel. So let's go.
Let's do it.
Here we are. This is the gift shop near Area 51. They got this giant metal ET out here. Check it out. Chris Bartel's running around in here like a kid in a candy store. It's hilarious. Hi. That's so funny. They have all this gift shop stuff here. It looks like a spaceship back here. So we should get a photo by this sign. That would be sick, right?
Is this the original?
This is the original one. They took it down and put it in here, yeah. It's freaking cool being here with you guys, right? Isn't it fun?
Yeah, it's fun.
It's like a big kids field trip. Here we are on Groom Lake Road, UAP Society, Chris Leda. We're here, dude. I've seen weird stuff. I know they do flare testing and everything, but I've seen stealth craft fly overhead here and all sorts of stuff. But we're gonna try the Dyson goggles and look for cloaks, things in the sky, and see if we can see them. It's kind of cool with Chris back here too, because whether or not he wants to say how much he wants to talk about, he's done a lot of work out and around in these parts.
Home sweet home.
Home sweet home. Right? You know, some of your buddies are probably right over the hill looking at us, huh?
Yeah. I don't want to mess with them because it's probably about lunchtime for them, so
Yeah.
mess around with them.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah. We camped out there.
Oh, dude, this is amazing.
Yeah. Oh, I loved it.
I have the lens right now over the
It was like literally the best time
camera
Air
right
Force
now, so
career.
I can see
All we had
just
was
like the
BBs
Dyson
and
goggles.
We had nothing. And our weapons. It was the best time in my Air Force career.
Wow. We're at yeah, Groom Lake Road. This is where Bob Lazar films all the intro stuff. He says this is where you come here and up at the black mailbox where you're supposed to park to see UFOs flying around. So pretty cool. Is it weird for you coming back?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was telling Chris down that road over there, you can't really see from here, but back in 1999, I was on a crash site with two F-15s that collided in midair. And we stayed out there for a week and a half camping out in that desert area. And it was probably one of the best times of my Air Force career, because it was like me and my partner, my buddy, and some other airmen out there just camping and securing a site. It was pretty cool being back out here.
And you've told me that like during that there's some interesting things that occurred,
There was some interesting things that occurred, yes, indeed.
and you can't share those for everybody.
Cannot share those. No,
Yeah.
no, I cannot.
But that's part of why you're on this quest to find answers for yourself. huh?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
This is the place to go, except for, you know, this is not the place to linger very long, because
No.
the FBI has been taking stuff very seriously around here lately. So we're gonna head on and get some hamburgers at the Little Alien.
Where does this black mailbox go, man?
It's actually private owned for the farmers that live here.
Oh.
Up on the ranch, but everybody associated it thinking, oh, it's where the mail comes to Area 51. And so it's like the thing to do, but really what it is like, it's the best spot to park and actually look and see all the weird stuff flying around in the sky. All you have to do is look over the mountains here and to the south. Probably come back here and sit for a minute, see if we see anything in the sky, and then drive back to my place because we're gonna go to Magic Mesa, a couple of other interesting petroglyph spots. But look how beautiful it is here, right? I'll get my face out of the way so you can see. Well, does it fulfill all your hopes and dreams of coming and seeing Area 51?
It does.
Does it? Yeah?
Yes.
Is it amazing? It's
Certainly
beautiful.
quiet.
So quiet, right?
It's quite quiet.
It is weird to sit here at night when you actually do start seeing stuff in the sky. You're like, okay, that's weird.
It's
yeah.
so big, you know. It's so big because I've been living in Europe and you don't see this sort of scale.
Yeah.
It's just giant, you know. So you can imagine, even if there's nothing back there, it's this giant area, you know. Which surely there's something back there.
How far we've had to drive since the last gas station
Yeah.
to like actually even get close to this
Well, I mean,
endless,
look at
this
that.
crazy.
There's nothing else.
There's nothing here, and then it's just this long dirt road up over the mountains, and then a long dirt road before you finally get there. It's like
Beautiful too, just beautiful country. It's so nice.
it's amazing. Yeah. We made it. We are at the Little Alien Inn. It's so cool being here with Bartel and everybody, all the guys. So we're gonna go in and get some food, some French fries, have a good time. I might sit here and try to do some UFO watching for a little bit back at the black mailbox. Then we're gonna head back to my house. But it's cool when you're here in person. It's like way different than what you think when you're watching it on camera. You know, like actually going in and being here. It's fun. I'm actually really hungry. I'm excited to go in and get a hamburger, dude. I really am. Wait till you see it in here. Just gonna keep filming. Go. Usually they tell me not to film in here, but here we go, guys. So look at all the people who've been here. It's like, let's see if bear bottles are in there. Look, it's George Knapp himself. It's George Knapp. Look at that. Look at that head of hair. Lush head of hair. And there's Bob Lazar. There's this guy. Chuck Yeager, dude. Wow. That's sick. I don't know who all these guys are. Oh, yeah. Stanton Friedman. Stephen Greer. Yeah. Whoa, is that Greer?
I don't know.
Whoa.
Didn't think.
We're actually back at my house and we're at the Virgin Trading Post near Zion National Park. We're gonna go check out some petroglyphs and other stuff today. And Chris Bartel just found some of his graphic design work
And somebody else's hat.
stolen and put on someone else's hat for sale. So we're gonna take this time to announce that Chris Bartel actually has a new Patreon, and so does Lato Files. No, by the time this video comes out, you're gonna have your Patreon set up and all that stuff already, because we're doing it tonight. A whole bunch of cool
And
stuff.
you'll have at least a few.
That's right.
You'll have at least a few.
So links will be down below. This shop is crazy. If you ever come to Zion National Park, you gotta stop here because they got all sorts of stuff. Like, right? It's wild. Look, they even have like blowguns and everything. You come over here, you got blankets and pottery. Oh my gosh. Knickknacks everywhere.
You can't imagine that you control it, but you can.
Lato was doing dowsing rods in the meadow at Mount Wilson Ranch, and
Well, I
now
can make it go like clockwise and then counterclockwise, but I'm not telling my hand to like do it.
Bartel, explain what this is.
Why is it able to work?
In your mind, it's like playing pool. You see the shot before you do it, execute. So your mind sends impulses down the string to the heavy rock, and it moves in your mind. And there's little types of energy that goes through your body that helps it move. So watch, it's going in a circle.
It's like
Now
pendulum.
watch, I'll close my eyes and I'll stop.
I mean, I can clearly feel it. Like I can make it go the
Now
other
I'll make
direction.
it go left to right.
So now remember and relate it back to how we learned with the
Left to right.
infrasound
Going back and
device.
forth, left, right.
Hey Brent, do you remember with the infrasound device and the in the shaman room, we started to figure out that when you meditate, that it actually extends out and informs the theta waves of the room. So just thinking about it actually creates an energy field around you. So consciousness is non-local to the body. It actually extends as a field around you. It's not just in your brain. Look at that. Dude, yeah.
In a circle. Anybody at home can do this.
Just go try it. Yeah, it's fun.
It's a trick. It's just a technique to.
Yeah, and go check it.
I mean, you must be making it change, right?
No,
With
it's
your
actually,
hands
you
or
can actually
something.
look it up. It's just. It's,
I mean, I can feel like I
But
can
see,
literally control it. It's so weird. I
Now
don't
think
know,
about
like-
the same kind of thing as Ouija boards and all that stuff. PK, psychokinesis, where you're
You can
moving
have-
things
It can't
with
be
your
real.
mind.
I mean, it's like.
Well,
Well,
what we got to do is just try multiple different variations of it and then measure it with the
That's the
infrasound.
thing, right? Measuring stuff.
Can we
like,
do
I
it with the
wanna see something.
infrasound?
Yeah.
Could we measure that with the infrasound?
Probably.
Like this kind of PK, like, yeah,
No, most definitely.
Yeah.
You measure it with the EEG as well.
with the
Very
EEG.
specific part of the brain.
That's the whole point of why we're here, like the
So you
X-Men.
can do that anything if you have at home.
Yeah, dude.
All right.
I'm driving, so I'm gonna let everybody else pretty much vlog and photograph this whole thing. So make sure and check out Ledo Files, Museum of Tarot, Chris Bartel. Everybody's gonna be doing YouTube, have Patreons, have Instagram, all that stuff, TikTok. Go check everybody out. We're gonna do this cool drive, go to the Moqui Caves. We'll get out here in a minute, but if you wanna see this view, go check out their stuff. So friggin' awesome. Makes you feel tiny, huh? Yeah, we're right down here. There's like a whole big dome right up there. We're right in the middle of Zion National Park. See, I can't even get it all in. I have to go to 0.5 so you can see the whole view.
That arch is amazing.
That's amazing, yeah.
Crazy.
We're actually gonna drive up. See, look up. Can you see up above the car?
Yeah.
Way up there, there's those holes in the side of the mountain.
Okay.
Like those little tiny holes. Look on my camera.
see,
Look
I
on
see, yeah.
look where I'm filming. I'll zoom right in right there.
Yeah.
We're gonna drive through there. There's a tunnel that goes boom, cut all the way through the whole mountain, and we're gonna drive through it here in a minute.
Yeah.
It's awesome. We should get a picture all together here. Right? Like, look at that view. I'm at the exit sign for the park right now. Everybody just like hopped out of the car. We're taking selfies right now. And check this out. There's some deer running around off the trail. Let's see if I can come up and show you. They might have ran away already. There they go. They're running right above Ledo. There they go through the trees, see them? Can barely see them from here. They're being pretty sneaky. A little bit out of breath. Ledo and I are going to the Moqui Caves. Clear back over there, you see. We just climbed up this big ridge. Now we're gonna go all the way along the top and explore inside real quick.
Man, it's surprisingly grippy. I hope it doesn't slip.
If you slip though, look how far down. Woo! You did it. That's no joke, right? It's pretty creepy.
That's cool.
You were saying this is where they shove people off. 75 feet.
Yeah, 75 feet. Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Dude, this place is insane.
We made it.
Oh man, it's
Isn't that dope?
That's insane.
Goes way back in here. Feels like Star Wars. Look at this. and we are exploring the Magic Mesa and the Valley of the Magic Mesa and some other cool stuff. So we're getting up to the first set of petroglyphs that look like portal swirls that I feel like are in conjunction with the mesa. And even though some of it we've debunked as being headlights, we're really not sure how to explain a lot of the stuff that goes on here, especially the paranormal things that occur down in the valley, and we're gonna check it all out today. Just saw him.
Very, very impressive. Very impressive how it lines up and everything.
Yeah, you see the mesa right there in the distance. It seems like somebody hid right down here, tried to record something. But you have these spirals right here that are so cool.
Such a scenic spot.
Such an amazing, yeah, dude. Like you would just sit right here like this, whoever carved it, and they were looking right at that, you know? Just like that. So, which would you say these are going? Would you say it's going, yeah, there's a good view. Would you say this is a counterclockwise and then a clockwise?
Yeah, they're going in two opposite directions.
Two opposite. How many times have you seen that?
I've never seen that.
Never.
Never.
Two polarizing opposite vortices of the spiral, which every other one that you see is usually going one way or the other.
Yeah.
And in the legends, when you read it, it's a direction of travel, like you're supposed to go this way or you go that way, traveling the earth clockwise or counterclockwise. So where are you supposed to travel? Where are you supposed to go when they spiral towards each other clockwise and counterclockwise in the same spot?
In between.
Does that mean that you've arrived? Or is it in between? Or does it mean in between dimensions or what?
Yes.
Well, that's why we need to go to some of the other stuff that will make more sense, especially the medicine wheel. We've been walking through an artifact field. Come up here, guys. I'm about to show these guys something I really haven't shown anybody else here at the Magic Mesa. Some other petroglyphs that may have something to do with it. And here's where it's intriguing. When we were at Mount Wilson, on our way up through the Shaman residence and all that, there was a stone, circle?
Oh yeah, the stone circle.
And a stone
square
on the way to the place of significance, right? So check this out. Look on the rocks here. Ancient petroglyph. You've got a square, a circle, and then over to the right another like square thing with almost like hieroglyph in it, or writing. And then it gets weirder and weirder the further along that we go. Keep in mind, this is directly facing where all the weird paranormal activity happens at the mesa. Now follow me. Down below. Look straight down below in the opening on the ground. There's the medicine wheel, the stone circle.
Wow.
There's a second one, another medicine wheel, on top of the mesa, on the left side, straight in line between that, the one on the valley, and then the squares and circles.
Yep.
Right? Actually, see the hump on top of the mesa?
Yeah.
It's on the left side, about probably 50 yards back on a flat spot. There's another one exactly like that on the top. And then you trace it all the way down, and it comes up here, and there's the squares and circles carved on the rocks right there, like you would sit up there. And then the next best place to sit and look at the mesa, or whatever they were doing here in the valley, all the way using this whole thing like a big resonance chamber, is down there where those other spiral petroglyphs are, indicating that has to do with like portals and opening into other dimensions, like you've arrived at where you're supposed to get at the center place. Chris is feeling a vibe right now and just laid down right here where the wheel is and the mesa is. the petroglyphs are, the circle and the square. You were saying you did this at Skinwalker a lot?
Yeah, I would find these flat areas like this with the dogs and spend my nights laying on these flat rocks, staring straight up into the universe. And I would just stay there until I felt, comfortable or had some type of vision or something. And I would do it all the time. And sometimes I would kind of drift off. But when you find areas with all this significance around, the pottery, the artifacts, the petroglyphs, the wheel, and you find flat rocks, I'm pretty certain are ancient.
Oh, you know.
Indigenous cultures did this right here, and they would look straight up into the stars and get lost, or maybe look for information or something.
This place had a lot of significance. Yeah, we're gonna go up and see a bunch of more cool stuff now, and go down and we'll show you guys the medicine wheel and everything down there, as well as a lot of the artifacts on the ridge over here too. No joke, everybody just intuitively here in this spot at the Magic Mesa right there, the medicine wheel is right below us down the hill, and everybody, Chris, Bartel just laid down, and then we all just decided to lay down here, soak it all in, take a break. It feels amazing, right?
It does.
It feels so good.
It's like you're here all day. I imagine being here at night and just looking at the stars like this all night long.
I know, right? It's awesome.
That would explain a lot of things.
Yeah, we're noticing that a lot of the geology here, like the rocks and stuff, are the same.
They glow pretty good.
Now we're using dicyanin.
Yeah, they glow pretty good.
They glow?
They glow pretty good.
Right. See, that was something we noticed. These same volcanic rocks are on the top of the mesa at Skinwalker Ranch.
Yep.
As they are right here. These like weird, reflective. I wonder if we could use the lens, over the camera. It's this kind of volcanic colored, glassy looking stuff, which is exactly the kind of surface of rock they like to do petroglyphs on, that they believed contained energy when you touched them that transferred into you. See, this is all pottery right
Like
here.
that black one,
here.
that striped one.
This one with the stripe on it. This is all flaking pottery right here, all this down this washout artifacts. This is one whole big piece of pottery right here. Look at that chunk. Right next to flakes everywhere. Or a comet trail, something like that. And then you have this weird eye thing. In the right lighting, I think with LiDAR, this rock would probably reveal a ton more with a LiDAR scan. But this is like an eye or some kind of, it looks like a UFO, but it actually has, in the right lighting, lines coming off it that you would think is eyelashes or energy, and then have this whole burst. And then the further up the hill that we get, it gets weirder and weirder and weirder. Look at all the black big boulders on the
So here we are at Magic Mesa. You see these crazy designs right in the petroglyphs. Could these be ancient locations? Well, obviously ancient locations, but some sort of significance. Can you say this is exactly like Skinwalker? Is this the seat?
Come get this photo with me. Alright? Just like, right here. Man figures. Spiral. Whatever these are. And again, it's like a pointer.
Right back at the mesa.
Yeah.
I guess, the question is, is this a magical place? Is that what the argument is? This is ancient magical areas?
Yes. The story depicted on the petroglyphs up here is of a supernatural being coming through a portal, conveying his powers onto the leader of the village, and he becomes the shaman, travels to and from, through and out portals, and teaches the people everything he learned onto the villagers.
So it gets even.
Yeah, this is the whole panel. So they would write a lot of times from right to left and around. You see up there too?
Oh, geez.
Whole panel and around. This whole area and cliff face is covered. But this is actually, you come up here, you might want to get your stick up at a good angle to see and extend it out.
Wow. This is the spot, huh? The shaman spot.
This is the shaman seat. Yeah.
Oh.
I didn't know that. I was sitting here meditating, looking at all this and up at the stars for like 6 months, having visions and supernatural experiences, seeing shadow people move through the rocks and hearing voices, having visions and stuff. And then I found out later that right where I'm sitting is where the shaman would sit. It's right here to do his meditations as well, right on that rock.
I bet he slept up here too.
Probably up there, slept up there, yeah.
And what?
So
What did
wanna
you
hear
find out?
The story of the petroglyphs?
Yes, please.
So basically the story starts up there, so really we should go further and come back if we're going to hear it all in order. Should we
Okay.
do that?
Teaser.
We'll get
Yeah.
a teaser and we'll come back to basically end everything up here, and then it goes down into the real world where it's
Oh,
supposed
it's
to
a
happen.
smile right here.
It reminds me of like the Far Side.
Like a Far Side cartoon, right?
Yeah. Okay, there. It's like the first Far Side cartoon, you know.
First Far Side joke, right?
Yeah, there it is. All right, Carl, blow our minds.
Ready? Well, are you going to film too?
My phone just died.
It's gonna
Did it?
blow our minds.
25% battery just died.
This is not blowing our minds right now.
You guys capture this also.
Here.
Mine is not blown.
All right, this is where a lot of the story begins. There is a lot more petroglyphs that are clear down in the valley beyond. I haven't even got to those ones yet. But what's amazing about these is that the story is told at one particular time of year, like in the summer solstice, right at one sunrise, when the sun is coming up through this gap in the rocks behind me up here. You can see where there's like little lines on the crack there behind me. The sun actually comes through that crack in the rocks and makes a circle of light, like a perfect ball, that appears right here on the bird shaman. Boom, like this, like he appears out of a ball of light, like an orb. So this big ball of light appears as the sun comes up. It goes like that, and just on him through the crack it appears, and then it comes over into his right hand like a staff. And then as the sun rises, the spear travels up and passes onto the villager. So he's just like the regular village man. Notice he doesn't have any clothes. He doesn't have the chest plate. He has a round head. This guy has 3 fingers on each hand and bird feet, like anthropomorphic feet. One appears to be injured or something, or shortened. But anyway, the spear travels up to literally right on this crack. And then it's like this guy and the light get carried up into this other dimension through portals. So then the sunrise comes up and paints the whole side of this cliff, right? So then as it unfolds into all this story, you see what looks like a man falling upside down out of some other dimension or something, and this whole story unfolding. And then you're supposed to walk down here through the rocks and then over the mountain. As the light appears, the story continues to tell what happens next.
I've got an astronomy program open on my phone for the summer solstice. Let's take a look at what that actually looks like. So you've got Venus coming up over the horizon, and the Pleiades, and Taurus. And right around at sunrise on the summer solstice, June 21st, right around 5 a.m., Venus and the Pleiades come up in Taurus. And over the course of the next 2 hours, the sun rises in the east, right where Carl said it does. And there it is, coming up over the horizon right now. Right there. And it would come right through this little opening in the rocks above us, if you want to take a look at that, Chris.
Right here.
Yep, right up there. And it cast a shaft of light down here onto this rock.
Oh, with the shaman.
So we all need to have trip number 2. Everybody comes back at the summer solstice and we witness it ourselves in the morning.
Also,
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
And then you have the shaman. Boom, the supernatural figure. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4. He's missing a finger on one hand. And look, his legs are here. He doesn't have any feet. He's got the cow horns and head. And then between the cow horns, just like you see in Egyptian hieroglyphs, you have the horns, or like the circle with the psychic energy above the head. You have this transmitting up and out, and it flies out like consciousness coming down. And then the story goes like this. It comes down and then it's all like happens at once. But this is like looking at a portal from the side. And you have the ordinary villager coming through the portal here. And here we have the symbol. Once you make this decision, there's no turning back. That's what that means. Like there's no going back once you do this. And then here's what's crazy. He goes from being a normal man with no clothes and a regular head to being full of whatever energy he got, like an out-of-body experience. See, it's almost like here's his body, here's his soul leaving his body, like an out-of-body experience. And as he does this, you see him become the shaman on his journey. You see how it's like normal man becoming the god, becoming the shaman. So it's like phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4.
a black triangle.
Well, and then this
Why
would,
is he turning into a UFO?
this is what I've heard depicted is that this all depicts like that this was done with the whole village, and this is like an overhead of the village. But to me, these look like spaceships, especially when you look up there, because it looks like spaceships with people
You guys
coming
gotta
out.
come up here and see this shit.
Yeah, because it's. And look, here's like a little guy and a big guy. I see that a lot. A tall figure with a little guy on his shoulder. And then look, this is the same guy, and then out of his hand is like all this electricity or energy or something shooting out of his hand, right? And then up there, that looks like some Enochian glyph, right? See that?
Oh,
And then these are the big feet. So come count the toes over here. They considered the giants like gods or supernatural beings. Look at the toes you got. Even if you skip this one here, well, we won't. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 toes.
7 toes.
7 toes, and then you've got these dots up above too, like energy coming off these. And then there's other ones, even little teeny tiny ones up here. If you come over here, little footprints.
Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. These ones have 5, and like it's like a dog, right? And they have all this energy. Very cool. The wind has been blowing a lot, but we're down here at the medicine wheel at the Magic Mesa right now. We might even stay tonight to see the lights after we go get some dinner and the sun sets. But we're just going to show you guys, like, just right here on the ground, you know, there's just all this ancient pottery, even right there, painted stripes on it. And there's tons of it all over the place. Like if I walk right over here, here's more. We've done so much on this whole trip, and now we're actually at the airport. I'm getting ready to drop all the dudes off. Everybody's flying back home. But you guys, what an amazing trip. We've done infrasound, EEG, night vision, ancient petroglyphs. We've done double slit experiment, meditations. We've crammed as much as we could.
Live stream.
A live stream and everything into this whole expedition. So make sure and subscribe to everybody. Down in the description below. I'm not gonna get an offender bender here in the airport, but all right, you guys, thanks for watching this whole thing. I'm gonna put it into a full documentary, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.